Okay, good morning, everybody. It's Sunday, March 22nd, 2026. I'm hanging out here with my cat, Bella. Hey, booby gooby. Good baby, huh? And this is an update from, I was meant to do these daily, but just time management is very difficult. And I think I've been updating things through the podcasts and whatnot, but generally speaking, last Monday I did a 1 hour long thing on YouTube and on Facebook that was disappointed on the viewership on YouTube, but a lot of people did see it on Facebook, and this is an update to my diabetic thing and the fasting I did and whatnot. And I did complete starting. I was on Sunday, a week ago from today, the 15th. It's actually technically Saturday night at 11 o'clock, the 14th. I started a 106-hour fast. Yeah, that's a long one. My old record, I had done one back in 2019 for 81 or 84 hours, something like that. But I shattered that record, and it ended on Thursday morning around 9 a.m. Oh no, it was wait a minute, 94. Yeah, it was 4.5 days plus 2 hours altogether. And it ended on Thursday, and I went down to the Co-op in Willimantic, which I'm gonna hopefully get some publicity going for that place, a little video. Maybe I can get them to sponsor Common Sense News and Entertainment. Here we go. But that was a 1 hour video. This is not going to be an hour. It's going to be like 10 minutes at the most. I had such trouble loading that sucker onto Facebook. And when I finally got it loaded, a lot of people did watch it. However, on YouTube, hardly anybody did. I'm not sure how that got missed. But this is important because I am going to cure myself of diabetes part 2 without the use of a doctor or any bullshit medication. I know I can do it. I've studied how to do it. That 1 hour video, you should go back and watch it and share it. It's kind of long, but I think it's important. And this is the continuation of that. It is not going to be an hour, at 10 minutes at the most, where I'm going to update you and continue to update. I was going to do them daily. Time management is an issue. I think every Sunday morning on Common Sense News and Entertainment, we're going to do a Maha show. Eventually, it'll be a daily one because Maha is so important. But as of right now, it is just a Maha Weekly. So every Sunday morning, I think we're going to do this. A little 10-minute, 15-minute thing, maybe longer if necessary, but not an hour. That's too long. But I needed that time to give you the history, understand how I contracted diabetes part 2, and how millions of Americans, by the way, have contracted diabetes part 2. The disease of abundance is what I call it, and what it is. And you fight diseases of abundance through scarcity. So that's why I've been fasting. So I'm going to update you. I broke the fast on Thursday morning with a lot of really good foods that I read about that were very good to eat. But they have to be in organic, raw form, So I spent Thursday snacking on walnuts and blueberries, as well as some hard-boiled egg with avocado, a fresh avocado. I actually bought an avocado, sliced it up a little bit, put some little pieces over egg, and was eating that. I haven't written down everything I ate. I drank a lot of water. I had been lacing my water, like I mentioned, with apple juice, orange juice, grape juice, things like that. Well, for Thursday and Friday and Saturday, I had the discipline to not do that. I drank pure water except the last glass I had. I had about 5. I like to make it 8 glasses of water a day. The goal is to do 8 today. I just finished my first one. But I've been doing about 5, which is not enough water, really. It's good. It's a lot, but it's not enough. I think it'll sustain me. I'm not going to dehydrate. But if I want to cure diabetes, again, you have to give your body the ultimate tools and chemical makeup that it needs to go in there and fix things and get rid of diabetes part 2. And you can't fart around with anything short of the highest standard. If you want to cure it yourself without the use of a doctor, you must, you must have a certain level of discipline and willpower, for sure. So a lot more than just the willpower to take a pill every day, or make sure you take a pill a couple times a day, or whatever it is. It's the way everything you eat. You are what you eat. You absolutely are what you eat. So anyway, Thursday, the things I ate were really great. At the end of the night, Melissa had a plate of pasta for her dinner, and she had left, I don't know, 5 or 6 bites of it on her plate in the kitchen, and I went in and I ate them as I was before, about a half hour before I went to bed. I went in the kitchen, saw the plate sitting there, I just ate it right off her plate. I sat there and ate the 5 or 6. It was like almost like a little. I mean, it's no sugar really in that, so it wasn't a big violation, but it wasn't something I planned on eating. It was like a little starch addiction, sort of off the wagon thing. It was so minor. It was only a few bites, but I was like, whoops. My first whoopsie since Saturday, the previous Saturday, 5 days. Not too bad, but I want to be better. Friday and Saturday, during the course of the week, I had to come up with a plan. I got sick last weekend. I did this fasting thing to respond to it. Really well helped me out a lot. But I need to come up with a plan going forward. I can't go backwards. I cannot go backwards. I don't honestly think I will make it to 70. Maybe even not even until 60. If I don't get my act together a little bit better about what I'm putting in, what I eat. I've done, like I said, you'll have to watch the longer video from last week to get the whole story. But in a nutshell, I abused myself the way I ate and drank sugar and candy and crap until the beginning of 2024, where I then got to the level where I'm at now, essentially, much better. Lowering my A1C from 15 point something, which makes people's jaw drop when I tell them that number. And now, last time I knew, about 6 weeks ago or 2 months ago, it was 8.1, which is still too high. It is still too high. But obviously on Earth compared to where I was before, and we're starting to work on bringing that down. And I'm not sure how the A1C thing works completely, but I think if you get it below a certain level, you're kind of cured. I'm not sure if that's it or not, or if, but I think it's what's something called a blood glucose test that will determine whether you actually have diabetes or not. I don't know. There's got to be some kind of a test that determines that. I plan on taking it. Probably a good. Again, nothing worthwhile is easy. To literally cure myself diabetes without the use of a doctor, that's not going to happen in the next few weeks. That's going to take like 2 years, maybe longer, to really get rid of it. I think within a year I can put it on the ropes, where it's just kind of trying to hang on. But remember, no, diseases of abundance like diabetes and cancer are really they're not viruses, not bacterium. They're not any kind of invading force. They're basically dysfunctional diseases. Cancer comes from good cells you have that have turned against you. It's essentially what cancer is. And diabetes is, a malfunctioning of your renal system, essentially. Your pancreas and your kidneys and things like that. It's essentially your pancreas that causes this instability in your blood system and in the rest of your system, all of your rest of your systems. And it's a shitty disease. It is. I've had it, for 10 years now. Oh, look at my baby Lena. I have to turn this down. Who's that baby? Who is that little baby? She's almost 11 years old, and I just hope she stays alive. You got to stay alive a lot longer for me, okay? We don't want to lose you. We love you so much, don't we? Yes, we do. She's such a good baby. Yeah. Okay, you go back to sleep now. Anyway, so we're almost at the 10-minute threshold. We're going to end this shortly, but I want... anyway, long story short, actually, and in fact, it might go a little over the 10 minutes. So I got to finish telling you. Friday and Saturday, the last 2 days, I also did very, very well. I continued to eat the blueberries and walnuts and eggs. Friday, I ran out of egg, and I still have avocado left, but I ran out of egg. And yesterday was the day. During the course of this week, I figured out what my plan was going to be. It was something along the lines of being on a very strict whole food only diet 6 days a week, and then letting off the gas on Saturday a little bit to maybe go out to eat with my son, or but even on Saturday, be careful not to eat too much. Definitely nothing sugar, zero sugar added, anything ever, any day of the week. But whole foods only on 6 days of the week, and then Saturday, if I go to a restaurant and get a burger or something, give myself a break, but no sugar and no fast food though. I have to be at an actual restaurant. And I define fast food by the way as anything with a walk-up counter. If you have a walk-up counter, sit down and eat your own food, that's fast food. Like Five Guys, Subway, those are also fast food. Sonic, things like that. If there's a waitress that's being paid to take care of you at a table, that's a restaurant. That's how I define that. So I've banned all fast food restaurants of any kind. I'll walk up or fast food restaurants of any kind, period. And that would include like roach coaches, lunch trucks, things like that. Anyone with a walk up, unless if there's a waitress or a waiter that can serve you at a table, that's still eligible, but only on Saturday. So anyway, Saturday came and I thought I did fairly well, honestly. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the 3 days I've eaten fairly well. That pasta thing Thursday night, oopsie. And then I bought at the grocery store on yesterday a one of those trail mix concoctions that are actually very healthy. The pepitas and walnuts and pits in them. This one had raisins, almonds, cashews, but and some little pumpkin seeds. And I don't think they were pumpkin seeds; they were actually pepitas, and a lot of really good stuff actually. However, also in there were little pieces of milk chocolate, which I just let my mind say, "Oh well, it's just a little chocolate. Chocolate's supposed to be good for you." The truth is, pure dark chocolate. There's no such thing as milk chocolate. Milk chocolate is man-made, natural in a natural sense of nature. Dark chocolate is something that's Keiko is called, or the cocoa plant, right? The dark chocolate that produces dark chocolate, and that dark chocolate in moderation is actually very, very good for you, and it's actually a very good nutrient, and something you can have actually a little cocoa, and it's something I would like to add to things and taste great, and a little here. It's not like you can load up on it. You can't have these big candy bars of it. It's something you can put into a coffee or tea, or maybe one little piece of chocolate a day like that or something. Dark chocolate only though. A lot of people don't like that. But anyway, it had little. It wasn't dark chocolate in there though. It was little chunks of milk chocolate. And I'm kind of like letting my mind see the mind really messes with you. And I had to kind of excuse that as okay. It's just a little. Chocolate's supposed to be good for you. A little bit of it. That was an irrational rationalization on my part. And so I ate about half of a container of that yesterday, which was not what I want to do. Even though it was Saturday, my day off. When I say my day off and the diet being Saturday, I mean like the whole food thing. If it's a burger's not a whole food, by the way. A steak could be whole food, but a burger's not. So I have a burger or ham sandwich or ham and cheese sandwich or something that's kind of processed. Little deli meat. Things that really means meat. So I'm a vegetarian now. This plan calls for vegetarianism 6 days out of 7 days a week. And then that Saturday will allow like a ham sandwich or a little bit of meat. That's kind of really what the difference is, really. A little bit of processed food, maybe. I'm going to give myself a break. But I'm debating on that. I'm cutting that out, honestly, and just forgetting about the Saturday privilege. Because it might keep me a little addicted to the starch too much. I may be better off just making a completely clean break. What I'm trying to do is give myself something to look forward to a little bit. Eating lettuce all the time is a little rough, So, you know, I want to have something to look forward to that's not going to kill me. So that's kind of the idea for Saturday. Plus, like I said, my son and I go out to eat together on weekends. We would do it usually on Friday and Saturday, but I told him, look, we can only do Saturday now. You can still hang out, just not at a restaurant type of thing. Just do something else. Not have it be all about food all the time. And food is such a thing about social circles and food. So much of our social life is centered around food. You go on dates. Dates are centered around dinner and breakfast, or not breakfast, but dates are centered around dinners and coffees and lunches and things like that. Family gatherings are centered. Every major, weddings, funeral, all involve dining usually after the fact. Everything we do that's social almost involves eating. And I don't know if that's necessarily the way it should be. Eating's a biological function, not a social one, really. And that's one of the things that's made me getting my diet straight all these years so tough. You actually do give up a little bit of a social. I'm not an antisocial person. I like people. So when you say, "Hey, I'm not gonna," I tell your own son, "I'm not gonna go out to eat with you that much anymore," like it seems pretty lame, but he gets it. We're close. It's cool. So it's not an issue really, but you make it into an issue when it's really not. And that's the one thing that we all struggle with as human beings, I think, are making things into issues that are not necessarily issues. We escalate things sometimes that shouldn't be. I'm pretty good about that for the most part, but I'm human. I do the same thing sometimes. And sometimes I make a big deal out of things that aren't such a big deal in terms of, things like that. The fact that I tell my son, look, I can only go out to eat on Saturday rather than whatever day is not in any way reflective of my stature with him as a father and our relationship as father and son. It's nothing to do with it at all, but it feels like that. It feels like that anyway. But anyway, we're almost at 15 minutes. We're going to cut this off. That's the update. Saturday was a little bit. So anyway, I woke up this morning. Oh yeah, let me finish this off. I woke up this morning. I threw the rest of almost half of the container of the milk chocolate thing right away. Got rid of it. I don't like wasting food, but this is about my health, so And leaving it around for everybody else to eat is just not a plan because I'll keep eating it. Willpower. Again, it's difficult. I purchased it, whatever. So I got rid of it. I thought about picking the chocolate out of it. I could have done that, but probably should have done that. Oh, well, I made a mistake, whatever. But I got rid of it. That's the important thing. Now it's not there for me to eat. And I've tweaked my little diet a lot more now. And it's going to be very strict, but I'm going to stick with it. It's going to be great. Essentially, I'm going to fast every Sunday and Monday from now on. Every Sunday and Monday, 2 days a week. That's going to save my food expenses by more than 25%. Now, there's a little bit of a stipulation. It's not necessarily... I just did 106 hours, so I can certainly do 60. That would be 60. I would start at 9 p.m., say, on Saturday night, and would resume eating 9 a.m. on Tuesday morning. So it would be 60 hours. That's not 106, so... but the idea behind that isn't strict, though. Like, I could do citrus during... It's like a water fast, but there's a series of, like, teas and... like, there's one that's made with... lemon and a couple of lemon and carrots or something like that. Like there's some really nice that are supposed to help you clean out your system. Homemade tea, essentially, which I'm going to allow during that period. Sunday will probably be strictly water fast, just the one day. And then Monday will be like still fasting, but allowing some of these nice teas to come in and homemade, homeopathic teas based on steaming different foods. I think I know what it is. I think it's lemon, green apple, and red onion kind of boiled together into a tea, and then you strain it and drink it, and it's something very much similar to that. And I have a few recipes like that I'm going to use to just help just really detoxify my system as rapidly as possible. And then, of course, that will be and then Tuesday will be what I know is the cure for diabetes, is the all raw vegetables, fruits, and nuts diet. Tuesday will be that. I'll be able to eat again on Tuesday, but it will be just raw vegetables, fruits, and nuts only. So if you cover those 3 days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, they would only consist of all raw vegetables, fruits, and nuts. That would consist of a 43% implementation of the thing I've been trying to do since 2016, which is the all raw vegetables, fruits, and nuts diet. Great. That would leave me Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Those other 4 days, which I already mentioned, would be whole foods only. I can have stir fry. I can have, I'm eating now, of course, again. I can have stir fry and eating full. Tuesday's a full eating day too, but only like salad. Nice raw salad, nice, maybe some raw nuts, put a sprinkle on it. Some of those papitas, all raw vegetables, fruits, nuts only. When I say raw, by the way, I mean raw, like raw almonds, not roasted almonds. Do you know that it's illegal to sell raw almonds in the United States that are grown in the United States? You can apparently import them from Spain and sell them. So, I found a store that has them. The Willamette Co-op has them. Well, I didn't see them there the other day, but I think they do have them. I didn't look that hard. I wasn't really looking for them. I was just kind of curious. But I mean raw nuts. Raw, not cooked. And they're actually very tasty. They're different, but they're very tasty. Most people aren't used to eating them that way, but that's the ones that really take care of you and truly give you. When you cook things, you take a lot of the nutrients out of it. It's just that simple, no matter what it is. You cook broccoli, you take 2/3 of the good stuff that's in there and you kill it. The living organisms, the living nutrients get killed when you boil them, when you cook them in an oven. So raw food, is a lot of virtue to raw food. By the way, our hands are designed to pick and open up and eat raw vegetables and fruits. There's no pointy claws at the end of them for ripping into animals. Just saying. I know a lot of nutritional people would disagree with me. They think we're omnivores, they say, which is me and herbs. I don't think we're omnivores. I think we're actually carnivore. I mean, herbivores, naturally speaking. I'm not saying that we haven't become omnivores over the last 20,000 years, and I mean 20,000 years. But in our early history, before all that, before our recorded history, before our even known much of our known history, although DNA and things is teaching us a lot about that period of time, I think the first human remains are believed to be as much as 2 million years old. That's a long time for us to be around. I don't know if it's that far back, 1.5 years. I think it's over 1 million years, though. So we've been around for a while. But what do we know about our history from 1 million years till, our recorded history, which is about 5,000-6,000 years ago? We don't have a lot to go on. We do have a lot in we know a lot about our days before our written history, going back 10,000-12,000 years, about our migrations. And but what about that period like 50,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago, 500,000 years ago? We don't know much about those periods of time. I think we're learning more. I heard something I saw fascinating the other day that apparently about 60,000 years ago, there might have been some major battle in Central, Eastern, and Europe and Asia, some area in that area between two different types of humans, like Homo sapiens and another. We might have had some kind of there might have been two human, cultures going, different types of human species, slightly the Neanderthal or whatever, different shaped faces a little bit. And there could have been a major battle, like an actual war that happened in around I heard it was like 50 or 60,000 years ago, between these things that the Homo sapiens, us, might have actually been victorious in, which led to us being the only true human species, to dominate the world. Pretty interesting. I don't know if it's true. It sounds interesting. Hey, baby, I'm rubbing her little belly. They say cats don't like their belly rubbed. That's not true. They only don't like their belly rubbed if they don't trust you completely. You get a cat to purr when you're rubbing their belly. Hear that? Baby. It means they trust you 100%. Oh, baby. But I would never do that. She's a good baby. I love this kitty, man. She's the best. So much love over the years. Okay. I'll let you go. Now I'm over 20 minutes. See, I'm talking too much. We're going to cut this off so I don't have so much trouble loading it. We definitely going to need AV, audiovisual help. It's coming. A lot of things are coming. Good things. It's taking so much long for this CSNE thing to get off the ground. It's kind of bothering me. Oh, I can't wait. I just figured I got the rest of my life. I might as well try something challenging. I've raised 3 beautiful kids. I have 3 great-grandchildren, or not great-grandchildren, wonderful grandchildren they are great, but they're not great-grandchildren in that sense. I'm not that old. They're good. They're grandchildren. And, I think I've started what I think is it hasn't made me rich by any means, but JBD Investigations has been a cool business. And I'm proud that it's been around for over 10 years now, almost 11 years now, and has made it through all this business difficulties in Connecticut and now aims to become even actually, I think poised to become the most successful that it's ever been. And I'm proud of that. I've done a lot of things I'm proud of. And I think starting a news network, which we're doing now, is going to be extremely challenging, but nothing worthwhile is really easy. And I think just spending the rest of my life trying to do a bunch of easy things all over again seems like it will bore me. It's going to bore me. So why not try to start an awesome, truth-telling, impactful, national, starting in Connecticut, but national news network. And here we are, Common Sense News and Entertainment. With that, from Common Sense News and Entertainment here in Connecticut, I'm going to sign off on the Maha Show. This is the second edition of the Maha Show. It'll be on every Sunday morning, probably early in the morning. But eventually we're going to have a full 24-hour schedule, 7 days a week, just like Fox News does. Only we're going to be better, way better. And we're not going to just hammer on news all the time, by the way. We're going to hammer on entertainment as well. That's why it's Common Sense News and Entertainment. So this is not just going to be about the news, although news is going to be a big part of it, huge part of it. But we're going to have Common Sense Sports. Yeah, playing baseball this year. I just got my notice, by the way, next Saturday, a week from Saturday, April 4th is my first practice. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that live or not. I don't want to mess people up there, the league up. I'm going to talk to the league commissioner about filming some of it and I think when I go to my games, I can certainly film my own games. I don't need permission to do that. So we'll do that. We're just going to get Common Sense News and Entertainment. Baseball, that's right. Value Wheel Baseball will be covered on Common Sense News and Entertainment on Sundays this summer. Sunday afternoon. So get ready for that. For now, I'm signing off, though. Got a lot to do today. It's Sunday, not a lot to do today, actually. I have a lot to do, thinking to do, and organizing to do, and maybe some phone calls. So there are things to do. But it is Sunday. Sunday I intend to be a day of fasting and a day of rest, and not really working on Sundays for the most part. I love that rule. That was the coolest thing they came up with in the Bible, the whole 7th-day rest thing. I love that one. I'm all over that one, man. You don't catch me violating that much. Now, of course, sometimes I have to do things on Sundays, That's just the nature of the business. And as a journalist, I'm sure there'll be times I have to do things on Sunday. But hopefully I'll have people working for me, too. We are going to be employing people. So get ready if you want to get hired, if you want to be a hard-hitting journalist. And you don't have to have experience. I'll give you a shot. But I got to like you, man. You got to have the balls to do it. So now we're closing on 25 minutes. Let's stop here. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. We'll be on with Court tonight. Common Sense Yankee Tuesday. I couldn't do it last night, but we will be on there tonight. We're going to be doing, I'm going to work things out with him so that we have a solid schedule. And Common Sense News Entertainment and Yankee T News combining every night here on Facebook. So we're going to be all over the place. We're just getting started, you guys. It just takes, it's just taking a while. That's all. And I'm running another business. Time management is the biggest problem I have. And then when I have to rely on other people to do certain things to take me to the next step, that's tough. I got to keep that to a minimum. Anyway, God bless Connecticut. God bless America. Goodbye, everybody.